Welcome back to the deep dive where we sift through the stacks so you don't have to.
Love that.
Today, we're
Yeah.
taking a bit of a trip back in time.
Okay.
1989 to be exact.
Right.
That's when Jack Schwager published Market Wizards, Interviews with Top Traders,
Oh, yeah.
a book that's become a bit of a cult classic in the trading world.
It really has stood the test of time,
It has.
hasn't it? Especially now with AI training and crypto making all the headlines.
Yeah,
People are rediscovering those timeless lessons
exactly.
from that book.
Which is why you sent it our way.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I was a little skeptical at first. A book written like before I was even born really have anything relevant to say about markets in 2025?
That's the thing about Market Wizards.
Yeah.
It's not about predicting specific market moves or revealing secret formulas.
Okay.
It goes, Schweiger goes deeper, interviewing these legendary traders to uncover the mindset, the underlying principles
Right.
that drove their success.
I'm intrigued. Okay, so who are these wizards?
Yeah,
Were they all using the same strategies?
not at all.
Okay.
You've got guys like Bruce Kovner who built his fortune through fundamental analysis,
Mm-hmm.
meticulously poring over economic data.
Okay.
Then you have someone like Marty Schwartz, master of options trading,
Okay.
who turned $30,000 into $80 million.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So completely different approaches.
Yeah,
But somehow they all achieved incredible success.
they did.
What's the common thread?
That's what Schwager's uncovers so brilliantly. He finds that despite their diverse trading styles, these wizards share certain key traits.
Okay.
And perhaps the most important one is discipline,
Okay.
particularly when it comes to risk management.
Okay. So not letting emotions get the better of them.
Exactly.
Chasing losses down a rabbit hole.
Exactly.
Okay.
Richard Dennis, one of the traders featured in the book, put it perfectly.
Mhm.
A good trader will make more money on their winning trades than they will lose on their losing trades.
That sounds so obvious, but I think it's a trap that a lot of us fall into,
Yeah.
not just in trading.
Totally.
We hate admitting we're wrong.
Yeah.
So we double down on bad decisions, hoping to somehow make them work.
Yeah, just hoping it'll turn around magically.
Yeah.
But the Wizards, on the other hand,
Yeah.
were ruthless about cutting their losses.
Okay.
They understood that accepting a small loss is far better than letting it spiral out of control.
Can you give me a concrete example of that?
Sure.
How did one of these traders actually implement that in their strategy?
Well, take Ed Seykota,
Okay.
who was known for his incredibly systematic approach.
Mm-hmm.
He had a set of rules written down,
Okay.
almost like a code, to guide his every decision.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those rules was to never let a loss exceed a certain percentage of his capital,
Okay.
no matter how much he believed in a trade.
Wow.
If it hit that point, he was out.
So he removed the emotion from the equation.
Yeah,
He wasn't letting hope or fear dictate his actions. He was sticking to his system.
precisely.
Interesting.
And that's what allowed him to weather market storms and come out ahead in the long run.
Yeah.
He wasn't immune to losses.
Right.
Nobody is.
Yeah.
But he knew how to manage them, how to prevent them from derailing his entire strategy.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah,
I'm starting to see why this book is resonating with people even decades later.
I think so.
It's not just about the technical aspects of trading, it's about mindset.
Absolutely.
And speaking of mindset,
Yes.
another key trait that Schwager identifies is psychological resilience. These traders were masters of their emotions.
They were.
They didn't let the inevitable ups and downs of the market rattle them,
Yeah, you'd think that would be like the hardest part.
which is easier said than done right,
Totally.
especially when you're dealing with your own hard-earned money.
Oh, absolutely, you'd think so.
Yeah.
But these wizards had a way of detaching themselves from the outcome.
Okay.
They weren't getting euphoric when they won or devastated when they lost.
It sounds almost like a form of mindfulness, being present in the moment,
Yeah,
but not letting emotions cloud your judgment.
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And this ties back to what Marty Schwartz said in the book.
Okay.
Most traders lose money because they would rather lose money than admit they're wrong.
Wow.
Their egos get in the way.
So they're so attached to being right
Yeah,
that they'd rather hold on to a losing trade than admit they made a mistake.
exactly. And that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
These wizards, on the other hand,
Yeah.
were comfortable with being wrong.
Okay.
They saw it as an opportunity to learn and adjust their approach.
It's like they were constantly evolving, refining their strategies based on their experiences.
Right, and they weren't afraid to challenge conventional wisdom,
Okay.
to think for themselves.
Hmm.
Paul Tudor Jones,
Mhm.
another one of the wizards,
Yeah.
talked about waiting for the right opportunity.
Okay.
not just jumping into every trade.
So patience was key. Not getting swept up in the frenzy of the market.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And this brings us to another critical trait, independent thinking.
Mm-hmm.
These traders weren't just following the herd.
Right.
They were doing their own research,
Okay.
forming their own conclusions,
Yeah.
and making decisions based on their own analysis,
Yeah.
not what everyone else was doing.
That takes a lot of confidence to go against the grain like that.
It does, but it also requires a deep understanding of the markets
Yeah.
and a willingness to trust your own judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Kovner, for example, he stressed the importance of thorough research
Yeah.
and independent analysis.
Okay.
He didn't just rely on what others were saying, he dug deep to form his own conclusions.
So discipline, psychological resilience, independent thinking. Mm-hmm. These are starting to sound like qualities that would benefit anyone,
Oh,
not just
well,
traders.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And that's what makes market wizards so compelling. These are timeless principles for decision-making and navigating uncertainty,
Yeah.
whether you're dealing with financial markets or life's unexpected turns.
Okay, so we've got these wizards who are disciplined, resilient, and independent thinkers,
Yeah.
but they also seem to share something else.
What's that?
A genuine love for the game.
You pick up on that, too.
Dude.
They weren't just in it for the money.
Yeah.
You were fascinated by the markets, the intellectual challenge,
Right.
the puzzle of it all.
Take Tom Baldwin, for example.
Mm-hmm.
He focused on short-term trading,
Yeah.
which can be incredibly stressful and demanding.
Absolutely.
But he seemed to thrive on it.
He did.
Yeah.
His story really highlights the point that success often comes from finding something that you're truly passionate about,
Yeah.
something that motivates you to push yourself and strive for excellence.
So it's not just about the strategies, it's about the passion, the drive that fuels the success.
It is.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
These traders all had their own unique styles, right?
Right.
There wasn't one magic formula that they all followed.
Right. And that's something Schwager emphasizes in the book.
Yeah.
He says, all decent approaches work. What's important is finding the one that suits you.
Okay.
He isn't advocating for any one specific strategy, but rather the importance of finding a method that aligns with your personality,
Right.
your risk tolerance, and your goals.
So it's about finding a system that you believe in, a system that you can stick with even when things get tough.
Exactly. And that leads us to one of the most powerful takeaways from market wizards.
Okay.
The idea that psychology often trumps technical skills when it comes to trading success.
Which is something I bet we can both relate to in our own lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we'll save that juicy conversation for part 2.
Let's do it. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
We often think about trading as this purely technical field,
Yeah.
all about charts and algorithms.
You practically underlined that quote by Michael Steinhardt about balancing conviction with flexibility.
Yeah.
Being able to admit mistakes without getting emotionally attached.
He was incredible at reading the market.
Yeah.
But what set him apart was his ability to change his mind quickly when things weren't going his way. He wasn't fixated on being right.
Right.
He was fixated on making money.
Which seems counterintuitive, right?
It is.
We're taught to stick to our convictions,
Yeah.
but in trading, clinging to a losing position can be devastating.
Exactly. The wizards understood the importance of detaching their egos from their trades.
Okay.
They could step back and assess the situation objectively
Yeah.
without letting pride or fear cloud their judgment.
That reminds me of something else you mentioned earlier.
What's that?
The concept of heuristics.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that term before,
Yeah.
but I'm still a little fuzzy on what it means.
Okay.
Can you break it down for me?
Of course, heuristics are basically mental shortcuts,
Okay.
rules of thumb
Mhm.
that experienced traders develop over time to make quick decisions in a fast-paced environment.
So it's like having a set of guidelines
Right.
that help you navigate the complexities of the market without getting bogged down in analysis paralysis.
Precisely. And what's fascinating is that these heuristics aren't always based on logic or data.
Okay.
They often stem from intuition, experience,
Mm-hmm.
even gut feelings.
That's interesting because it seems to contradict the idea of being purely rational and data-driven.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But what Market Wizards reveals is that even the most successful traders rely on a combination of analysis and intuition.
Okay.
They've learned to trust their instincts, their
Mhm.
ability to read the subtle cues of the market.
So it's about finding that balance,
It is.
that sweet spot between the head and the heart.
Exactly. And this is where Ed Seikota's story becomes so relevant.
Oh,
He was incredibly systematic in his approach,
right.
but he also understood the importance of self-awareness,
Okay.
of understanding his own psychological tendencies.
You mentioned earlier that he had a set of rules written down to guide his decisions. What kind of rules are we talking about?
Well, some were technical, like his rule about limiting losses,
Yeah.
but others were more psychological.
Okay.
For example, he had a rule that prevented him from trading when he was feeling emotionally charged,
Interesting.
whether it was excitement, fear, or anger.
That's so smart.
It is.
It's like he recognized that his emotions could cloud his judgment and lead to impulsive decisions.
Precisely.
Uh,
And he built safeguards into his system to prevent those emotional biases
Like-
from influencing his trading.
It's like he was hacking his own brain,
Yeah,
optimizing his decision-making process.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And it highlights a point that I think is crucial for anyone, not just traders.
Okay.
We all have our own biases, our own blind spots.
Right.
The key is to be aware of them,
Yeah.
to understand how they can influence our decisions,
Right.
and to find ways to mitigate their impact.
So self-awareness is key.
It is.
Knowing your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
And building systems to support your decision-making.
That's right.
But how does all of this apply to us in 2025? I
Yeah.
mean, these traders were operating in a completely different market environment.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's one that a lot of people are asking as they rediscover market wizards in the age of AI-driven trading and volatile crypto markets.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
The principles that Schwager highlights,
Mm-hmm.
risk management, discipline, psychological resilience, independent thinking,
Yeah.
they're timeless.
Mm-hmm.
They're applicable in any market environment,
Okay.
regardless of the technology or the specific assets being traded.
So even though the markets have changed dramatically since the 80s, human nature hasn't.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're still driven by the same emotions, the same biases,
Yeah.
the same fears and aspirations.
Right.
And that's why the lessons from market wizards are so relevant today.
But isn't there a risk that these timeless principles could be overshadowed by the speed and complexity of modern markets? I mean, we're talking about algorithms making trades in milliseconds,
Yeah.
vast amounts of data to process,
It's a lot.
and markets that can swing wildly in the blink of an eye.
You're right. The pace has definitely accelerated.
Yeah.
But that's precisely why these principles are more crucial now than ever.
Okay.
With AI making trades at lightning speed and crypto markets experiencing extreme volatility, it's easy to get caught up in the hype and make impulsive decisions.
So it's like having a strong foundation, a set of guiding principles,
Right.
becomes even more important when the ground is shifting beneath you.
Precisely. It's about understanding that no matter how sophisticated the technology gets,
Yeah.
the human element will always be a factor in trading.
Right.
And those who can master their emotions, stick to their principles,
Yeah.
and adapt to changing circumstances will have a significant advantage.
It's interesting to see how this book is having a resurgence in popularity right now, even playing out on social media.
I know, it's crazy.
I've seen a ton of posts on X about Market Wizards being a must-read for anyone navigating the world of AI trading and crypto.
It just goes to show that even in the age of algorithms and high-frequency trading,
Yeah.
the wisdom of experienced traders from decades past still holds immense value.
Yeah.
It's like we're rediscovering these timeless truths in a new context,
Right.
a new era of market dynamic.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Not everyone's convinced.
Right.
Some people might argue that Market Wizards being published in 1989 is a bit dated.
Yeah.
How do you respond to those who question its relevance in today's market?
It's true that the specific examples and trading strategies discussed in the book might not be directly applicable to today's markets,
Right.
but the underlying principles,
Okay.
the mindset, the approach to risk, the emphasis on psychology,
Yeah.
those are eternal.
And the online discussions and reviews seem to back that up.
They do.
People are still finding value in these stories and the lessons they offer,
Yeah.
even if the specific market conditions have changed.
Exactly. And while some critics point out that the book focuses heavily on options traders,
Right.
the universal truths about discipline, emotional control, and independent thinking are applicable to any market,
Yeah.
including the modern crypto and AI-driven landscape.
So it's not so much about the specific tactics or the technology,
Right.
but about cultivating the right mindset, the
Yeah,
right approach to decision making.
precisely. And that's something that will never go out of style.
Yeah.
But there's one more aspect of the book that I think is particularly relevant to our conversation today,
Okay.
especially in the context of AI.
Okay, you got me hooked. What's this extra layer of relevance you're seeing?
Well, amidst all the talk of algorithms and data,
Right.
Market Wizards reminds us that trading at its core is a human endeavor.
Yeah.
These wizards, they weren't just crunching numbers. They were making judgments, taking risks,
Right.
and navigating uncertainty. They were, dare I say, having fun.
That's right. There's a real sense of passion that comes through in their stories.
Thorough.
They weren't just chasing profits.
Right.
They were engaged in a game.
Yeah.
A puzzle they loved trying to solve.
Exactly. And that passion, that enjoyment,
Yeah.
I think it's a crucial part of their success.
Okay.
When you're genuinely interested in what you're doing,
Yeah.
you're more likely to put in the time,
Right.
the effort,
Mm-hmm.
to become truly great at it.
It's like that saying, find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yes, and I think that applies to trading as much as to any other field.
Right?
These wizards, they weren't just grinding it out.
Yeah.
They were having fun along the way.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that success isn't just about the outcome.
Right.
It's about the journey, the process.
I agree.
But here's a question that's been swirling in my mind as we've been talking.
Okay.
If these trading wizards were active today, in the age of AI,
Right.
how do you think they would approach it?
Now, that is a thought-provoking question.
It is.
It's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but I imagine they'd approach AI with the same curiosity and skepticism they applied to everything else in the market.
So not just blindly embracing the latest technology, but really trying to understand it, to see how it could fit into their existing frameworks.
Exactly. Some might be eager to leverage AI to gain an edge,
Right.
using it to analyze massive data sets and identify patterns they might not have seen otherwise.
Okay.
Others might be more cautious,
Yeah.
preferring to rely on their own experience and intuition.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I think their decisions would be guided by those core principles:
Okay.
risk management, discipline, independent thinking.
So they wouldn't let the allure of AI cloud their judgment or compromise their core values?
No, they wouldn't.
It would be about finding the right balance. Using technology as a tool to enhance their existing skills.
Right.
Not replace them entirely.
Precisely. I can almost picture one of these wizards sitting in front of a wall of screens.
Yeah. Algorithms spitting out predictions.
Right.
And he's taken it all in, but with a critical eye.
Right.
He's not letting the machine think for him.
Yeah.
He's using it to inform his own decisions.
That's a powerful image.
It is.
It's about staying grounded in those timeless principles, even as technology advances at an incredible pace.
It is.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, but if there's one key takeaway you want listeners to walk away with, what would it be?
I think it's this. Market Wizards isn't just a book about trading. It's a book about the human element of success.
Yeah.
It's about understanding our biases,
Yeah,
our strengths and weaknesses.
right.
It's about cultivating discipline, resilience,
Yeah.
and independent thinking.
Yeah.
And it's about finding joy in the process, in
Right.
the pursuit of mastery.
Beautifully said. And I have to say, going into this deep dive, I was skeptical about how relevant a book from 1989 could be,
Right.
but I'm walking away with a whole new perspective. Me too. It's amazing how timeless wisdom can be.
Well, before we wrap up, I want to pose one final question to our listeners.
Okay.
Something to ponder as they go about their day.
Right.
If you were to apply one key principle from Market Wizards to your own life or decision-making, what would it be and why?
That's a great challenge to leave them with.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yes, we would.
Join the conversation on X, drop us a line, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, let us know.
And of course, if you're intrigued by what we've discussed today, we highly recommend checking out Market Wizards for yourself.
You should.
It just might change the way you approach risk, decision-making,
Yeah.
and the pursuit of success.
And who knows, you might even find a bit of wisdom that applies to navigating the wild world of 2025.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
Thank you.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.